Not gonna lie, it feels kind of great having put everything on easy buttons. So I don't even need to actually do my dumb screwing around that I used to do to get my chat and, well, Boogie ready. Anyway, let's make sure I am on the correct window. And then let's go. I probably should have hit continue prior, but we would have missed that little feature. Actually, looks like it looked pretty decent on the stream capture. I say, destroying my bitrate. So, last time I said I was going to not fuck around and try to find out where things were, and today I'm going to announce that's I shouldn't say bloody, because that's not what I'm normally say. That's a lie. Okay, so we do 3 east, and then 3 something else, and then 3 something. Yeah, cool. Ah, okay. So this is the other fire.
There's another one of those monuments.
Find my sprite and follow it until it leads you back to me. Okay, and since we can't actually get up this way, unfortunately, so we know roughly it's in line with that and the spot. Yeah, I mean, from here we can actually still see the blue, so we might be able to once we are over there, although I definitely couldn't see it when I looked from an angle that I thought we should have been able to see it from. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's just because it's close enough to inline, it just kind of disappears. I suspect one of the reasons for that is so that if you are looking over from, you know, here-ish, you're not spoiling yourself on that. Okay. But can we do anything here? Not gonna, well, no, it's not gonna be in here. Because there's only just this stuff. This is also, I believe, no longer... as in line with that, statue. That's fine. Weirdly, I think it's this big old blue ball. Oh, no, it's not actually going to be up there. Like, I assume we're mostly just trying to race it. Well, not lose it, I guess, really. Race it is a disingenuous assessment. And if it pops up there, we can easily do stuff with it, but... I feel like this one's designed to punish the over-eager who want this fucking thing to take a remotely direct route. Activate a Prometheus monument without stopping. What? Without stopping the spark chasing music. Oh, okay. Interesting. The Thief of Fate.
All things must be balanced. When good is weighed against evil, tip the scale.
Okay. And I believe this last one should be the lab. Apologies for clearing my throat there. I wasn't really thinking about it.
This is very similar to the structure where you found the schematics.
Check out the terminals. Maybe there's something that'll help us understand who built this place. They have to have left something behind.
Hey, server Rex. Although, I guess that's foil in front, or not foil, like a dust filter in front. It looks like glass. And I think that's what it's being rendered using in an engine. But I think it's supposed to represent like the No, maybe it is just glass. Maybe they are intentionally choking off and murdering their servers. In much the same way that glass in computer cases does. The 4.2 kill a year eradication event. From BT Adiambo's Anthropocene dilemmas. The Akkadian Empire, forged in violence by Sargon the Great and his sons, reigned supreme over the city-states of Old Sumer. Enriched by trade with distant lands, fed by the plentiful wheat fields of Mesopotamia, the the Empire bestrode the world with confidence and pride. Who could oppose the chosen of Anu and Enlil, the masters of the four corners of the world? Then the weather changed. The crops stopped growing. Trade collapsed. The Empire fell, its capital forgotten. The most likely culprit at the time of writing is the 4.2 kiloyear aridification event, the beginning of the Megalian Age, a non-anthropogenic drought that may have lasted almost 2 centuries, causing many of the earliest civilizations around the planet to collapse. This is where our ordinary understanding of time, measured on the small scales of human history, collides with the reality of deep time and our existence within a much bigger picture. We live in a changing planet in a changing universe. Climatic optimums are temporary. Extinction, the norm. The Acadians, like the more egalitarian inhabitants of the Indus Valley civilization, man, my brain never can remember which one's Indus and which one's Indo. I think it is Indus. Could not understand why the rivers dried out and the rain stopped coming. Even if they could, they lacked the tools to do something about it. A few short millennia later, we're on the brink of having that understanding and those tools. What can we learn from the tragedies of the past? Error 53. They'd love that 5358. One such drought, completely naturogenic, would be enough to wipe out New Jerusalem for good. When the founder awoke, leaving the garden behind forever, there were 2 more whose bodies had been anointed by the progenitor. The gold disc breathed life into them, and their names were Eustathius and Cornelius. The founder showed them all she had discovered. Together they explored the dead city, saw the ruin to which humankind had fallen. It was then the founder understood that the sins of the past must not be repeated, and that only through humility could the future be saved. Aside from Cornelius and Eustathius, there were 10 whose bodies the progenitor had not yet anointed in due time. Now it was upon the founder to complete this work, begin the resurrection. In this matter, Cornelius proved of great assistance. After many tribulations, the 10 were brought to life, and these 12 that were born after the founder are called the first companions. These are their names: Eustathius, Cornelius, Aurora, Sun, Sarabai, Byron, Melampus, Yemo, Hypatia, Niam, Benaroya, and Lithracer. It's funny how you can take something that's 90% true and 10% false and create something that's 100% misleading. So far, so good. Unknown error in calculations. Better cooling systems necessary. Oh, we know exactly the reason for that. You dumb shits put them in glass. I am reminded of all the fucking CLCs and fucking GPUs I've seen pressed right up against glass, and the users wondering why their damn machines were overheating. Now, we don't actually have the entry, a passageway into that one yet, because we only have two other doors for it, and I think it hold on a sec. My brain is saying it required 16. Why am I at elevation again? I was actually looking for the path back to the, Oh, yeah, I know where I'm at. I'm actually right next to the, doors, aren't I? No, I'm not. I don't know where the fuck I am. I was where I thought I was, it's a different spot than I actually thought it was. Ah, okay. So there's 2. I'll just show. There's 12. Each one has 2. Once we do literally all of them, the golden gates do something. I genuinely could not give you more info than that because that's... that is the extent of my knowledge. Yeah. Oh yeah, never did figure out quite what that did. Also, I hate how... it feels like there are very few entries and exits into and out of certain spots. I know it's intentional to keep you locked in and locked out, but it feels very limiting not giving. Yeah. I have everything else I can get away with using left click or right click, but not that for some reason. Oh wait, what? Is there a better fast travel system that I'm not aware of? Can we actually fast travel from any spot? Let's check once we're done with whatever cutscene it's gonna give us.
Alright everybody, I'm sure you're all excited to check out the next site, but while you're there, remember that I'm still trying to fix the rest of the transport system. You know, to get that success rate up a bit. Maybe there's another one of those labs that Wonka found. If there is, look for more documentation, please.
First things first, we have our ever lovely this one we probably won't be able to do anything about the little jumping that I did before. Or we'll be able to die, one or the other. The world spirit. What is it that drives historical processes? It's easy to dismiss the idea of the great man, or the great woman for that matter, when clearly so much is determined by resource distribution, pre-existing political structures, and the randomness of the universe itself. But is there no space at all for the individual in all this? Are there not moments where, in Hegelian fashion, an individual may represent the world spirit itself? Was Napoleon history on horseback, or not? Or is that itself another form of determinism? From Augustus to Napoleon, from Lincoln to Lenin, there are individuals whose actions seem to drive, rather than merely be driven by history. They make bold choices for good or ill that transform entire societies, or do they? We like to blame them for their failures, but are they not ultimately just the expression of a historical moment? But if they are, where's the space for human agency? It sometimes seems to me that all of human history has been one struggle, to carve out a space for free choice against the tides of history. And heroes and tyrants, and pick and choose examples as you will, are both equally a reflection of that. Our greater goal, then, ought to be to extend that freedom to the maximum number of people, become captains of our own fate as much as that is possible in this universe. Hypatia's Journal 2, from Hypatia's Journal, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem. Day 14. Molumpus and Yemo went back to the dam to get more charging equipment. They've not returned yet, which means that we're stretched a little thin, since we're still posting guards at all times. Though those large herbivores haven't come back yet, and at any rate, Eustathius assures us that they're non-aggressive. But it's better not to take any chances, not when there's so few of us, and so many of them. Athena and Cornelius and Eustathius spend most of their time drawing up plans and arguing. In a friendly manner, sure, but arguing still. The rest of us are managing to tune them out pretty well. Like background noise after a while. We've started construction on the first habitat. It's going to be a temporary structure for now, but we'll all be glad to get out of the rain.
So, what are you doing here, Trevor? Why are you trying to save the world? Well, look, I think humanity is awesome. I love humanity. As a species, we're great. I mean, our track record is pretty mixed, but have you seen everyone else? I mean, what did you do today, animal? Oh, I ate some leaves, sniffed my own butt, crapped myself, and went extinct. Or, you know, I tore this other animal limb from limb, sniffed my friend's butt, crapped myself, and went extinct. They really don't do anything interesting. I mean, you don't see animals directing Big Trouble in Little China. Birds can go tweet, tweet, but it ain't exactly the White Album. I mean, they can't even make a good cheeseburger, for Christ's sakes. They have no art, no cuisine, no pleasure. Animals are nice to look at, but you wouldn't want to be one. Except maybe a cat. I could be a cat.
Cows can make a pretty good cheeseburger, my dude. Create worms holes in compatible materials. Okay, what pray fuck does that... Oh. Okay. Do I need them to be? No, the wormholes are not for us. Okay. 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 I see. Oh, I'm being dumb. Being big dumb. But now that we've done that, can we do anything out here? No, nothing we're doing out here is relevant. I think actually we want it here. I mean, I'm not seeing a drillable material out here, unfortunately. Well, that makes sense.
I can't help but notice that many of these structures are not strictly functional. There's a sense of aesthetics, of beauty here. This place might be meant to test us somehow, but perhaps there's more to it than that.
Also, I apparently missed spot 1. Which is, you know, impressive. Also, I really like the fact that I know that I'm just gonna keep all, however many of those fucking sun sparks. Because if I can't solve it by my brain, maybe I don't want to solve it. Yeah, straight up missed it. I mean, part of that's the way I went. I didn't come back here at all, but... Oh, we can just drop it on the other side of the hole. I'm so used to a lot of the things not letting you do shit like that.
I keep
But
thinking, why puzzles? Is it just their symbolic value because of our history? Because the thing about puzzles is they can be solved. But if this is about testing us, what are we being tested for? It can't just be about spatial reasoning.
Our curiosity? Our persistence?
You're assuming that this place follows a coherent logic. My impression is that it's full of contradictions.
Hmm. Okay. Which suggests to me probably... Oh, yeah. I just wasn't seeing that one. I am sort of curious how you would end up breaking that such that you would need the, Wait. Okay, so that has that, but does this also has... Good enough.
Good work. Keep going.
Yeah, we got something up on this, area. Got a feeling it's gonna be one of them there Prometheus things. As incorrect, it's a, gate puzzle. Okay. Uh... How? Okay, so... Oh. I'm done. This area is going to be a pain.
You know something that's weird about these puzzles? They're not replicas of the simulation puzzles, like the ones in the museum.
Wasn't there an artist who did an exhibition a few years ago that involved new puzzles of some kind?
That was Barzai. It was called Trials of an Imagined Past. I tried to get you to come along. You thought it would be boring.
Were they similar?
No, not at all.
Was it boring?
I thought it was interesting.
So, quite possibly, yes, it would have been quite boring for our fellow explorers who do not really care two shits about puzzles. Those bars are weird. Like, I know part of it's we haven't done 4, right? Yeah, we haven't done 4. But there were, I guess I missaw. I thought there was some spots where there were, drillable parts above. Oh, yeah, I guess I just missaw that as being drillable. I think it's just foliage. Yeah. Okay. Not the first time I've been mistaken on similar matters. Okay. This. Okay, yes, first and foremost, but we need that block in order to do anything with it. Where? Oh, and I was... Ha 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 ha. Okay. Okay. So I was not imagining it. I am still an idiot, though. But the processes for this are not that complicated.
Any progress on the particle clouds, Melville? It's pretty clear they're integral to how all of this functions.
I've gathered a lot of data, but I still have a lot of numbers to crunch before I can give you an answer. And I can't guarantee that my answer won't be another question. I'm glad we don't get headaches.
No, this is just a audio log.
While exploring the forest, I came across a sight of primal force. A beautiful stag, standing on a hill silhouetted against the setting sun. It appeared like a messenger from some divine natural power, perhaps from Gaia herself. Even to a being such as myself, less susceptible to manipulation by instincts and hormones, it was clearly a moment of revelation. In such moments, we are told to avert our eyes. But what if we do not? What will we discover if we look more closely? If we could speak to the stag, what wisdom would it have to offer? The answer is none. The stag is an animal of overwhelming stupidity, driven only by fear, hunger, and lust. There is no abyss for us to plunge into behind this revelation. Rather, the revelation is as flat and unreal as the plywood walls of a film set.
So these monuments represent each of the entities. Pandora, the Sphinx, and Prometheus.
Makes sense, I guess.
For a given value of sense.
2478. Okay, so that's presumably telling us that there's something we can fuck around with in each of 2, 4, 7, and 8. Okay, so that's just a connector. Man, the line is kind of difficult to see, which is why, obviously, I had not seen it prior to. Okay, so this is not 2 though. This is 3. Oh well, thankfully it keeps that for us. Discovered what seems like another mystery to solve. Stars, clearly inspired by the simulation, which are gained by solving puzzles related to these monuments to Pandora, Prometheus, and the Sphinx. Perhaps these stars are somehow related to what Yakut dubbed the astronomical temple. Lost puzzles. Some of these puzzles seem to be disconnected from the rest. They're still functional and can be used to power the bridge device, which means it should be possible to reach the tower without solving every main puzzle. But they don't seem to be properly integrated. Could they be remnants from a previous iteration of the design? What then? It wouldn't. Oh, it would be the little Sphinx thing. Taking a reference photo in case I want to figure this out later. And what is... Okay. So 1K found a recording of Lifthrasir, and what an odd recording too. I know he's one of the first companions, but I don't actually know much else about him. Don't think I've ever seen him around either. Can someone explain? Lifthrasir always had an unusual perspective, even in the very beginning. He traveled a lot, sometimes leaving for years. He built a kind of mobile recharging station, so he didn't need to come back to the city as often. Although it was quite risky, as the solar panels had a tendency to break rather quickly. But he had no problem taking risks if he felt they were necessary. An exploration was necessary to him. Lifthrasir would record his thoughts as he explored and then publish them when he returned. Over the centuries, he accumulated a group of admirers, or disciples if you prefer. In the period of crisis surrounding Athena's disappearance, they left the city, headed into the unknown, and we haven't heard from them since. Is the recording that I found one of those he published back in the day? No. Not as far as I can tell. Perhaps it's something he decided to shelve, or something he only shared with close friends like Athena. Thank you. That was informative. Doge, connecting you to a friend. I've relayed your responses to my friends. They've reached certain conclusions regarding your character. Would you like to hear them? Yep. Now you're new, so let me fill you in. Your arrival marks the moment of New Jerusalem's maturity, and there are differences of opinion about what it ought to become. Naturally, there are people working quietly behind the scenes in an advisory capacity, trying to guide our city to prosperity, people who know things which would only scare or confuse the average citizen. I have 5 such friends who expressed to me their interest in getting to know you. Who are these people? I can't yet tell you their names, but I can tell you a little bit about them. The first is an engineer by trade, and tends to see the world as a puzzle to be solved. The second is a scholar of some repute, thinks the big questions have answers in our code. Third is, it's hard to pin down, a practitioner, let's say, of the esoteric arts. The fourth is a member of the political establishment, and the fifth, well, the less I say about them, the better for everyone. So there's someone you think would be a good match. I'm most curious about the mysterious fifth. Aha, no, that would be a very bad idea for everyone. The problem with you is your natural resistance to categorization. You either have no concrete opinions at all, or they're just so complex that no one else can understand them. Nonetheless, 2 of my friends have expressed interest in getting to know you. But there's a catch. You're going to have to answer one final question, a tiebreak, if you like. So here it is, the ultimate question. Spikes or goo? Well, I know which one I'm choosing. I know where you got the phrasing of this question from. Then you have my eternal love, and you know perfectly well why I'm going to bracket you into the esoteric camp. It's clear from your answer that you're a slippery character, but you know a trick when you see one, no simple binaries for you. I'd like to connect you to my esoteric friend. Are you happy for me to put you in touch? Sure. Okay, I'll send an introduction in due course. Not what it seems, get involved behind the scenes. So we were going to go over to 2, if I can figure out where the hell it is. And we want to connect it to that. Now 2 is right here. Is there a connector here? Or is it straight up just the connector there? Is there going to be a good path? Do we even... Do we even have a connector here? We got a driller. We got a driller and we got a jammer. We ain't got shit else though. Okay, well, I mean, that one is also right near 4. Also, that one wasn't even the one that... Why is it saying 2, 4, 7, 8 when it's literally right next to 3? In fact, I can connect it to a green. There we go. That's good. Nothing else that makes that actually visible. Anyway, let's go do 5. Yeah, that is a lot better. That actually lets me see the damn thing. I think it was green. I think green was what we wanted. I mean, I could make it... Well, could I make it be anything? Yeah, I could make it be anything. I think that's green? Yeah. Green's the color we want. That's good. Now... the real question is... what the hell's over here that actually has a usable connector? The Nude Theology by George Bernard Shaw. The object of that whole evolutionary process is to realize God, that is to say, instead of the old notion that creation began with a God, a personal being who, being perfect, created something lower than himself. The aim of the new theology is to turn that process the other way and to conceive of the force behind the universe as working up through imperfection and mistake to a perfect organized being, having the power of fulfilling its highest purpose. In a sense, there is no God as yet achieved, but there is that force at work making God, struggling through us to become an actual organized existence, enjoying what, to many of us, is the greatest conceivable ecstasy, the ecstasy of a brain, an intelligence, actually conscious of the whole, and with executive force capable of guiding it to a perfectly benevolent and harmonious end. That is what we are working to. From Lives of the First Companions by Randolph, Niam. After these events, Niam decided to consult the writings of the ancients, but while philosophy and religion interested her, it was art in all its forms that came as a revelation. To her delight, she discovered that meaning was not something constructed purely out of logic or will, but that it could also be found in stories, that even when the characters and events of a story were not factual, they had a validity and weight as if they somehow were real after all. She was astonished that such a profound experience was freely available to all humans, but concerned that too few took advantage of it. So she set out to enrich the inner lives of her fellow citizens by promoting the arts, starting with the legacy of Gehenna. Niam sounds nice. I'd love to meet her one day. She must know more about New Jerusalem art history than anyone. When we do, remind me to explain how to pronounce her name. The default settings in the language libraries are wrong. I have no idea. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong for the record. God knows I pronounce most things wrong. Leviathan, from the Introduction to Leviathan by Thomas Hobbes. Nature, the art whereby God has made and governs the world, is, by the art of man, as in many other things, so in this also imitated, that it can make an artificial animal. For seeing life is but a motion of the limbs, the beginning whereof is in some principal part within. Why may we not say that all automata, engines that move themselves by springs and wheels as does a watch, have an artificial life. For what is the heart but a spring, and the nerves but so many strings, and the joints but so many wheels, giving motion to the whole body such as was intended by the artificer? Art goes yet further, imitating that rational and most excellent work of nature, man. For by art is created that great leviathan called a commonwealth, or state, in Latin civitas, which is but an artificial man, though of greater stature and strength than the natural, for whose protection and defense it was intended, and in which the sovereignty is an artificial soul, as giving life and motion to the whole. Lastly, the pacts and covenants by which the parts of this body politic were at first made, set together and united, resemble that fiat, or the "let us make man" pronounced by God in the creation. It's obvious that Hobbes has read Stratton and is extrapolating the Talos Principle to the level of the state, but unlike Stratton, all he wishes for at the end of the day is a powerful ruler to control this machine, to tell him what to do. I have hated reading Hobbes every single time I have ever done it. I couldn't fully elucidate as to why, but part of it's just, it's so fatiguing. Just inherently fatiguing in every manner. So we can't actually hit anything with this right now. Okay. There's clearly something in there that I'm missing. Is there? Yes. But I have no idea how to get... Oh wait, yeah I do. I need to stop, you know, not thinking about things. And with our jammer. And then we... Also, I fucked up on this. It'll... I should have done that prior. It's not a speed run or anything, but... I prefer doing things remotely efficiently. Oh wait, I still haven't done 5. I think that's the only thing we can do with it right now. Which it still isn't in spot good enough. Oh, wait, no. Never mind. I don't think that does anything for us. I hate being dumb. Ah, I see, I see. This lets us do some stuff, but not as much as I would really like to do. Oh. I'm being done. I couldn't figure out how to get both. I got turned around. I got no idea where the hell I'm facing. Hmm. Weird, but we gotta actually put it through the wall, even though there's almost no usable space there. Because there is some... I know this is just my brain being dumb. I do wish some of these were a little bit more difficult. Oh, is this going to be another lab?
Looks like you found another lab. Wow, that's a lot bigger than I expected.
What were they doing here?
And who are they?
Saint Edwald identified the tetromino with the tetragrammaton and the Greek word for God, because to him the mathematical properties of the tetromino reflected God's ability to shape the world without breaking its laws. Elohim, in his desire to impose meaning on the simulation, which was his primary function as a storyteller after all, took Edwald's heretical ideas and integrated them as sigils of his name. But despite all these layers of obfuscation, there is some kind of truth hidden in all this. The world really is, in a sense, made up of minute parts that can be combined and recombined without breaking the underlying laws. Everything that exists is made of the same fundamental materials. And those materials are brought into existence by the same fundamental functions of reality. And yet the miracle of existence is that we are not all one, but are in fact radically different and separate. From the Book of Reminiscence and Regret by Eustathius. In the early days of our people, a great deal of responsibility fell on my shoulders. There were few of us then, and though we are stronger and hardier than any human, we are not invincible. The world was an overgrown ruin, and our resources extremely limited. It was a harsh time, but I felt passionate about the work, fired up by the many sacrifices that had brought us here, from the Ian team to the people of Gehenna, whose code was part of my personality. Bit by bit, New Jerusalem grew. We had to adapt some of the plans Drennan's team had left behind. I don't think they had expected the simulation to take as long as it did, but it was all working. That's when I made a terrible mistake. Thinking it was a way of safeguarding against disaster, I proposed the creation of a second settlement, New Alexandria, as the location was far from the dam that powers New Jerusalem. I attempted to build a thermal power station that would take advantage of a local gas reservoir. However, I foolishly used geologic data from the archive, failing to account for the amount of time that elapsed. 5 years later, this error led to an accident that leveled the settlement and killed 31 of my fellow citizens. Of all my many regrets, this is the greatest. Eustathius never forgave himself for this mistake. He drifted away, isolated himself from everyone in New Jerusalem. But was it really his fault? Yes, he made a mistake, but why was the entire weight of the New Alexandria colony placed on his shoulders? A simple process of review and discussion could have prevented the entire disaster. Doesn't that mean New Jerusalem as a whole is at fault? He did his best. I feel sorry for him. But the dead remain dead, and that has to be faced. The ethics of extinction. If a species we consider beautiful and remarkable goes extinct, we consider that a great evil. Dolphins, for example. If dolphins go extinct, that's a great loss. If humanity causes dolphins to go extinct, that's a crime. But if Yersinia pestis, the bacterium that causes bubonic plague, goes extinct, is that an equally great loss? If not, why not? To nature, there's no difference. It's all just life forms. The only moral framework that allows us to choose between dolphins and the plague is a human one. What about a species going extinct without anthropogenic factors? Extinction's the norm. One day, dolphins are no longer capable of competing with other species. Should we let them go extinct? When the sun finally dies and all life goes extinct, will that be a tragedy? If we can prevent it, should we? If you believe that extinction is acceptable when nature does it, but not when we do it, then you don't actually oppose extinction. You don't believe that dolphins are inherently valuable, that they deserve to live and thrive, You just oppose human control. You oppose our ability and responsibility to choose. Or in some cases, a company's ability and responsibility to choose. Because companies have demonstrably shown time and again that they will not be responsible. I mean, if a corporation is going to have rights as a human, it should be able to be locked up in perpetuity. The eye of the needle. Okay. Well, let's get our tools out. Huh. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so that's a jammer, but how the hell are we... Oh. Oh, I think I get it. We need to do that, and then this gets pulled. This needs to be used to jump over this gate. Ah. That sort of appears to be the limits of our abilities. I'm not saying that's not, like, valuable. But for now, that's our edge case. Okay. So while I think we can use it on that, which is... can't get it to go through. Where the hell did I leave? Here? Ah, there. Yeah, and that is such a tight angle. Be much less annoying if we could hit this with it some way, but I'm at the very least, not seeing it. And yeah, and it's not gonna let us stop on top of one of the walls. Because that would be exploitable. Man, that's really annoying that you can't actually get it to do anything usable. Or at least do anything behind a wall that you're setting it down for to break. And there's nothing useful we could place behind that. Although I do really like how it's just not moving while it's over there. But if we're right up on it, it is. I'll be right back. So part of me wonders, there does not appear to be any value of keeping that one open. Keeping this open inherently also has little to no value. Once we have things set up in place, how much value then does the block even have? Also, can we get this set up in a spot over here? Actually, that's a good question. Yeah, so that one doesn't appear to... Well, they don't appear to be jumpable with that, which, I mean, it makes sense. Because, of course, if they were, we could just take this over here and jump over, and that would eliminate the big ol' puzzle element. Oh. But it does help me to realize that I'm being a giant dumbass, and have been being a giant dumbass this entire time. You know, sometimes you just need to
Let's get some measurements from this particle cloud.
step away and grab a drink or stretch to stop being a gigantic dumbass. Yeah, I see. Ooh, you know what I can't wait for? Puzzles that are trying to kill us. Those were always great. I died and jumped so many times. I don't even want to think about how many times. Because it's a lot. It's a very large number. Yeah, there's nothing in here. It's a matter of the fact that it's a two-step process to get in here. Now you might be sitting there saying, "Hey, did you break that?" Absolutely I did. You bet your ass I did. Give me a sec. Two. That way I'll remember to act. Well, maybe I'll remember to clip that. Say, Livy. Oh yeah, need to. I'm sure there's a shortcut to. That opens that. So we need to get 2 items through. And like for the record here, I know what we're supposed to do is this and that. I just, you know, don't quite get how we're supposed to get this inside. Now the weird thing is, like, if it were the other way around, I feel like I'd have a better idea, but with no, actually I do. I understand exactly what it's asking me to do. It wanted me to do that because it needed me to understand what I'm doing here. And for this, we're just reaching through the holes, so it working or not working is utterly irrelevant. Just one left. Solve loop without doing multiple circles? What? Okay, I guess if it wants to give me the achievement for that. Although I bet one negative of having done that reload is that it probably ate my green laser. Which is, I mean, it's fine. It's annoying, but it's fine. Does that change? No. How the shit? That one's not going to be useful. I assume. Okay. Well, if that's the case... So that does actually work. No, I don't think this will work. Yeah. Let's first consider what we actually have here. This needs to go and connect there, and this needs to hit that. And they can't cross. But they need to cross. I'm pretty sure if we have it hitting both, it just doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we definitely have one where I feel like I am too fucking stupid to figure it out. But we'll see. I mean, for one, I don't really understand why we have the driller. Which, in and of itself, suggests to me that I'm missing something. I am indeed missing something. The thing that actually gave me the clue I needed was the fucking ladder. Of all things, it was the ladder. Sounds dumb, but can we connect anything to that eye? No. Though there might be stuff on the back of or front of the signs for 2, 4, 7, and 8. And I'll also need to remember to hit up 3 to activate the laser. Where's the other one? Is it actually just the one? That doesn't seem right. Oh, it's straight up there. That's fine. And then let's head over to 4. Flip the switch on it. And it's telling us we have accomplished the task for this one, earning us our 3rd fire. Mistress of Riddles.
Every answer leads to another question. The last answer leads to the first question.
And And this was a lab. Can we do anything from there, or do we... I mean, it's annoying because we can't even see the relevant area for most of these. And 7 is just too far behind it for any real... Let's see if it is something. I don't remember there being a way to even see that though in 8. Like we can see that. But we can't get... Oh shit, we can. I could have sworn that I had looked over there and just hadn't seen it, but I was wrong.
The hunter does not hunt because he is hungry. He hunts because he revels in death.
I mean, if you start hunting when you're hungry, you're not as likely to succeed. Huh. The Progenitor Portrait Series. Hi everyone, this is the latest in my portrait series. I've always had a deep respect for the progenitor, Alexandra Drennan. She didn't just create the founder and save humanity, she also tried to instill us with a sense of beauty and wonder. It was good to be human, Alexandra Drennan. As usual, please keep in mind that we should focus on engagement with the work. Don't ask yourself whether it's good or bad, but how it makes you feel. Beautiful work, Rodin. It gives me a bittersweet, wistful feeling. She must have been a great person. To me, it really captures her bravery in the face of what the cosmos had thrown at her. Well done, but I'm not sure it's appropriate for us to depict the progenitor in this way. It's important to remember she was a real person. You're right. She was extraordinary, of course, but she was a human being like any of us. I don't think you can say the progenitor was like any of us. It's like saying the founder was like any of us. But they were. That's the point. You're new to this world, so I understand your ignorance, but it would be best if you were a little more respectful. Founder created the goal. She created you. Keep it civil. What 1K was trying to explain Thekla was that progenitor and founder weren't some different class of being. They're made of the same stuff as we were. That doesn't take away what they accomplished or how incredible they were. It just means that humans can be truly amazing. Here lived a race of giants. Okay, so there is a fucking... there is a gate somewhere. Might be on the other side of this. Not super happy with that one, but... Say... Lovey.
Halt, creature of clay. You have strayed from your garden and entered a domain that is beyond your ken. Turn back now, before you harm yourself and others.
We were invited here.
Prometheus had no authority to summon you. He is rash and foolish and given to trickery, but his schemes lead only to ruin. Therefore heed my warning. The flame is not for you.
It is so tempting.
You speak in jest, as Prometheus is wont to, and like him, you are a fool.
Maybe. May well be.
How many of those bloody things are there?
12.
I think that was Pandora, which matches the other one being Prometheus.
They seem to be locked in some kind of conflict.
Might be wise to avoid getting caught in the crossfire until we understand what these entities actually are.
Dick move, game. Okay. Here? And I kind of hate that the gates don't show up on the map, but... Yep. We are a sixth of the way done with those extra puzzles. Also, I like that I think I did actually run across this. Yeah. And assumed that it was the other one. Oh, no. Did I just miss this? Is there a second terminal up here? I'm an idiot. Stratton Ideas. The Origins of Thought, a fragment from Stratton's The Origins of Thought, as quoted in a commentary by Simplicius of Cilicia. To say that the material things are brought into being by ideas is to flatter ourselves, which is an error philosophers are particularly prone to, because it raises those who think above those who do. Then what is the truth that does not flatter? That the reverse is true. Ideas are brought into being by matter, and so each man's ideas are shaped by the world that surrounds him, as clay is shaped by its mold. Those who live in mountains fear cold. Those who live in deserts fear thirst. The Athenians are shaped by Athens, and the Lacedaemonians by Sparta, and likewise it is for all peoples. But may ideas, if we take each man to be an idea, not by deliberate action alter the shape of the mold, as you put it? Discovered a method for accomplishing this is the chief purpose of philosophy, my friend. Footnotes. The newly discovered Heraclean manuscript, likely a lost part of the Baraki collection, contains an additional passage that differentiates between pneuma, the individual mind or spirit, described as an energy arising from matter, and ideas, which are produced by the pneuma as it interacts with the material world. Philosophy is useless if it offers no way of changing things. At least Stratton tried and didn't lie to himself. But how can we change the shape of the mold? Stratton never says. Perhaps by demonstrating the fact that other shapes are possible. We can't change it all ourselves, but perhaps we could, like Alexandra Drennan, create the conditions for change. Okay, this is the one in between the one that I have and the last one I wait. No, this is the one after the last one I saw. Version 5 deployed successfully. Reversion to previous settings fixes malfunction, but what was the error? Cooling systems improved. Version 6 deployed successfully. Yes, very good at English me. Significant improvement to disassembly. New lab space carved out. Easy to destroy, harder to create. So, easy to optimize only one aspect. Version 7 deployed successfully. Version 8 halted. Insufficient energy for trials 719 to 802. Schematic. Is that good?
The world is a wonderful place. Every day we take another step forward. Every day we come closer to the truth. The closer we get, the more I can see the beauty of the universe, the intricate perfection of its mechanisms. I am a machine, and the universe is a machine. Every part of me serves a purpose, or I could not be myself. I could not be Miranda, because that specific person could not exist without those specific parts and their specific functions. In the same way, every part of the universe serves a purpose. I think that is what we were meant to discover here.
So I know roughly what she said, but my brain got with the world, and my brain finished that with, is a vampire.
1K. You just connected to an extremely powerful data stream. Are you all right?
No.
Yes, you were streaming. We all saw something. You're lucky it didn't fry your motherboard. Please, everyone, let's be careful with these terminals from now on.
Yes, let's all try not to die. More importantly, who the hell is Miranda?
There's no one by that name in New Jerusalem. I just searched the database.
Must be one of the people who built this place.
A new person. Someone we've never heard of before. Someone born outside the city. We have to find out more.
But where did they come from? And how many people does it take to build something this huge?
Like I said, we need to find out more.
Well, you'll be happy to hear that I'm about to fix another part of the transport system. Thanks for the files, 1K. I hope they didn't fry your brain.
I have no idea how to get out now. I guess that's nothing. Oh, and yes, I am aware that despite my claims of being not the most god-awful person at singing in the history of humanity, that was exceedingly poorly sung. It's one of the few parts of my voice that the whatever illness I have has been hitting. Okay, I am also a little bit deeper, but that's that's one thing I'm not going to be complaining about.
Those labs, I started thinking, where did all the tech come from? So I had a look at the serial numbers, and it turns out the answer is New Alexandria.
Oh.
Wow, I guess that makes sense. After the explosion, the colony was abandoned. Nobody ever went back for all that stuff.
We had enough to deal with. So many dead.
So that's one question answered. But how did they go from scavenged Alexandria tech to all this?
How did we go from nothing to where we are now? Through the application of reason and the right tools.
It's a mine.
Look at the size of that structure.
How does the material support so much weight? Is it the same stuff as the other buildings?
Yeah. I know it looks like some type of concrete, but the molecular structure is completely different. Whatever it is, it's a lot stronger and less brittle.
Are the labs made out of the same material?
No, that's just ordinary concrete. Although, it does have some molecular weirdness going on too. Too little variation in the grain.
Okay. They certainly knew what the fuck they were doing to make this, look neat as shit. Okay. I should probably have, looked at what the hell we actually needed to do with things first.
I've managed to extract an audio file from 1K's data stream incident. It's hard to be sure, because it's just a fragment, but I think it's some kind of log or diary.
We finished a new lab today. Some processes are still harder than others, but energy output was up 2,000%. It's incredible how each leap forward enables another. The next iteration of the machine will...
So as we suspected, someone was experimenting here. But experimenting on what? What was this machine they were building?
Maybe it's whatever powers the megastructure.
I like these puzzles. So far.
I think about New Alexandria all the time. But realizing this place was built on its bones just brings it all back even more. We were so optimistic when we started. So full of ourselves. Thought we could accomplish anything. And then, in one single moment, it was all gone. I remember a flash, and then just lying there, realizing that my legs had melted. I tried to pull myself away from the fire, but the servos in my arms were broken. If Eustathius hadn't found me, sorry. Just some old scars.
Hypatia's Journal 3. Day 42. We broke ground on the first of the permanent structures today. A large hall that will eventually be converted into a performance and exhibition space. My idea. Although for now we'll use it as a workshop. It's strange, this place. There's a lot of open space and I didn't think that I would find it so unusual, but I suppose we all spent more time at the dam than was originally planned. And now it's difficult to get used to not having that low ceiling over our heads. It's probably just me. Byron loves being outside and is always volunteering for scavenging missions. Lifthrasir usually tags along, although he seems more fascinated with observing nature and various weird creatures. At night, I sometimes catch myself standing by the door. Not because I have guard duty, just watching the stars. It's oddly comforting to think that they've always been there, that they watched our ancestors, standing where I now stand. Progress. From Miranda to 5358. That keeps showing up. There's some significance to it, and we don't yet know what it is. We finished setting up in the external site at the lake. The area is so stunning, we forgot about the experiment for a while and went for a long walk. The ways in which all the different aspects of nature interact with each other are endlessly fascinating to me. And the sheer variety of living things, even on a simple green meadow. Sadly, we then stumbled onto the carcass of a deer that had been torn apart by wolves. It must have suffered enormously, and thinking about that made me feel truly terrible. There's so much pain in nature. Ecosystems engineers. From Anthony Castor. Cutting down swaths of trees for the building projects, thoughtlessly causing radical changes to large environments and forcing local species to adapt to their artificial habitats. These are the traits of a species of intelligent, industrious, and extremely impactful ecosystem engineers. Humans? No, I'm talking about beavers. Like us, beavers transform their environments via building, and their actions have real consequences, creating vast wetlands that some species thrive in, while others die. Human activity is very similar. We too are ecosystem engineers, and we too benefit some species while harming others. Everything about this is completely natural, including the damage to other species. After all, that's what competition and evolution are all about. Those species that adapt to the ecosystem we create will, over the coming millennia, become the core of a new biodiversity. And so evolution runs its course. If we don't like the result, if we think some species should be preserved despite being outcompeted, well, that's anything but natural. It is, however, very human. It's fascinating how so much of what we do is common to animals, but furthered enormously by our intelligence and our ability to remember. Through us, the universe strives to a greater level of complexity. But does the universe have the capacity to strive for anything? We must be careful to avoid projecting human values onto the cosmos. Okay. I probably spiked that a little bit too loud, but I wanted it a little bit louder and then failed at the little bit part. Ah. Huh. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Oh, wait. I can do this. Hmm. Okay. All right. No. The inverter is so weird. Refraction? Okay. Well, that's kind of annoying. Hmm. And this lets us do this. Will be blue. I do like how many of the puzzles so far, here, specifically here, have been just through door puzzles. Okay. Found on a engraving. Okay, I think that's going to be near the front. Touch grass. Read 10 social media entries. Fuck. Badajas. For anyone who missed it, Byron's expedition has recovered evidence of the existence of a new person, someone not from New Jerusalem. Who could this be? What does it mean? Maybe there's another city out there. Who says there is only one simulation? Maybe there are thousands of people we've never met. I really hope so. There's only one founder. I hate to agree with Thekla, but all the historical evidence we have points to that conclusion. There were other attempts, but as far as we know, they all went wrong or failed. There's more that we don't know than there is that we know. That sentence is going to make my brain crash. Why do we think Miranda's from Earth? There's no evidence supporting that idea. I really don't think it's aliens, Jacques. Everything here is obviously related to New Jerusalem. Could human beings really build all that? It's a bit hard to understand how all this was built, but I don't think it was aliens. You're a little too credulous, 1K. You're such a buffoon, Jacques. I don't even know what to say. We'll see if you still think I'm a buffoon when Miranda abducts 1K and starts probing his data ports. So, I'm cat-sitting Yakut's cat, Bruce, and he keeps peeing on my charging pod. Is there anything I can do to prevent this? Clean it very thoroughly, so not a single trace of smell remains. I know it's hard without the ability to smell, but we do have some cleaning agents that can do the trick. Contact me on private if you need a list. Oh, and make sure Bruce isn't distressed by something. Cats don't like being moved from their territory. Maybe it'd be easier if you just moved back to Yakut's place and fed him there. No, Bruce is just a bastard. He loves peeing on anything electrical, chewing on cables, and generally just breaking stuff. This is normal, and I warned you, Pellegrino. Could have given him to Neith. She's used to him. But he's so fuzzy, and I love him. Ah, cats. That's... Give me just a sec. Paris was an ancient city sometimes called the City of Light, one of the great capitals of the world, home to tradition and innovation alike. It was the birthplace of one of the greatest revolutions in history, the moment that gave birth to modernity in all its glories and horrors and like. The spirit of freedom was born here, although it was suppressed by enemies and traitors, never entirely faded, and it lived on in the mind of artists for many generations. Maybe something of that spirit still remains in us. Okay, so I sort of have an idea as to where it's asking me for, but that's a bit away. I think I'll just head for number 5. Or number triangle. Man, we got jammers and all sorts of shit here. Well, we need to have the jammer going through here in order to do anything, but Fuck. I think that might be able to let us get through. Or I could be utterly mistaken as to what it's asking me for here. I am just utterly mistaken, it turns out. Okay, so this is relevant only to the end bit. And we'll need to get both of them swapped, and that's not really going to be a big deal. I am not seeing how to get this fucker out of... I'm blind. First time I've needed to use a ladder of shame so far. Oh.
I sent the drone to have a look at one of the other puzzle clusters. It seems they remain inert until they're connected. I uploaded the pictures to the log.
Should we check them out with the VTOL?
Let's conserve fuel as much as we can. There's no point in going there if it's all dead.
I sent the drone to have a look at another puzzle cluster, but it seems they remain inactive until someone gets there, or until the transport system goes online. No, I mean 5's right here, and then we can check out the next question mark. Imprisoned. I do like... Okay. Do not have... So we're gonna need to set these up and then be real smart about it. With, of course, Hmm. Hmm. Well, let's verify that this is in fact how it works. Yeah. This isn't going to work. Hmm. And for that matter, neither is this. But it will show off that that would work if I could figure it out. Okay. I'm being dumb. I mean, at that point, it doesn't actually matter.
That was really kind of excellent.
We get another... I mean, I've been calling them triangle, but it's probably delta. Hmm. Hmm. Huh. I mean, that's kind of the issue I'm running into right here. This rules, we're actually gonna have to do the same fucking steps again. Okay, I can't quite see what the hell it wants me to do. So we need to be able to place it in a spot. Oh wait, no, because we can't. Can we? No, we wouldn't be able to do what I'm trying to do with it. Shit. Okay, so that puts up... which means it needs to be over here. Unless we can do something with it over here. I made that way more complicated. than it needed to be. And took like 8 loops through the damn thing, because... The garden, new poem. I walk in the garden without fear as stars swirl across the sky, and I stand among the tall lilies who lift their faces to the passing eons. Here I will do no harm, and no harm will come to me, for at last my long journey is over, and I am at home. Beautiful. Makes me feel calm and happy. This is my new favorite of yours, I think, although maybe Step by Step Toward the Nightingales might still win out. Let's say it's a tie. The words are definitely beautiful, but it seems like a poem about death. That doesn't make it less beautiful. There can be beauty in death. And I wish that there was a response that stated as such. I mean, yes, I don't think our journey is ever over, and maybe it never will be over, is valid, true, in this case. That's my greatest dream, that this is all just a momentary stop. Place where we rest for a while before we go on to new adventures. Interesting, I always thought of humanity's journey as long and exhausting, as search for a home. Homes are important, but we're wanderers, Emish. We need new horizons, and the more we travel, the more we perceive our homes with new eyes, and find more to love. Wow, a response from Byron himself. Thank you for your thoughts, everyone. I really appreciate them. I mean, 7's gonna be, like, right here. But also, there's a weird blue figure. Remnants of the
There's
past.
so much to discover on this island that sometimes it overwhelms me. Every lake, every forest contains an incredible, interconnected, permanently changing network of organisms. And every one of those organisms is almost infinitely complex and contains other organisms within itself. It seems impossible to ever really grasp, but then, step by step, I do understand. It takes time and effort, but it's not impossible. And there's a lot of joy to be found in simply taking the time to truly study something. I spent 5 years studying a single flower, and it never got boring.
Okay. So probably 6 then. Given where it is. If I can ever find 6 again. Although notably, it's going to be something that has a... What is it? Glitter? And I guess we'll see if that is the case for our ever lovely, whatever the fuck it is we're working, 6. I mean, we've got an inverter. Wait, can we get this? We can. Okay. Does that help us at all? Um. Yeah, but not in the way I realized. So either one can maintain it now. But I think we actually want this visible from over here. And again, I'm not fully thinking. Enter the tower? No. Yeah, we don't... Unless I'm mistaken, and that's not actually a green this time. But it is.
The rotting remains of the old world should fill me with melancholy. Even here on this remote island, our ancestors could not escape their fate. And yet, I find there is something pathetic about these ruins that evokes anger and even contempt. I feel it is a mistake to accept this catastrophe with equanimity. What we see here should offend us. When witnessing this triumph of entropy, we should aspire to a warrior spirit, even a kind of hate of the past and its failures that will never allow such a thing to happen again.
Interesting. Just a random spark in the middle of nowhere. Doesn't even show up as a little star for us to gain. I am curious about the little flowers or eyeballs or whatever, because we've run across several of them. Heyo. I do like that these little wispy lasers are more common here, because those were some of my favorite puzzles in Talos Principle. Oh, hey, we actually got to see what's behind the gate a little bit there. I will say, I do really enjoy that just because of how spread out everything is, you're unlikely to consistently be able to figure these things out on first sight. Okay. I should have left the connections, but, you know. Okay. That
was extremely convoluted.
it was pretty easy. If I care about visibility, the red is, I think, a little bit better, easier to see. I'm certain the actual answer is the green, but I don't have the green yet. And I don't remember where we had green, and it'll take me a little bit to get to hit up each one. Okay. Oh. That's annoying. Okay. Okay. Part of me wonders if there's even... No, we can't take this out either. Okay, so I think I figured it out. Oh, no, I had not figured it out. In fact... But I also don't see how to get that out of there. Any part would be sufficient to get this. Because if I could get this out, well, if I could get it out without, you know, losing that. So... But I'd drop that inside, and I had not. Okay, but there's a... God damn it. What are you? And why do you also... Oh, you're not actually a... It just looked like one from the side. I also really like that so much of the time we just end up following these laser paths one way or the other. I think it was like, what, 4? I think 4 had, either 3 or 4 had a... combiner. I mean, may as well check each one along the path. Since, I mean, as far as along the path is, roughly all of them? Although it really looks like... I don't know. I got surprised by running into a tree there. I think this is going to be another... Oh.
Every site we've investigated has had one of these labs, but they seem primitive compared to some of the technology we're seeing above ground.
Are we even sure that the labs and the puzzles belong to the same people?
There seems to be a connection between the experimental setups in the labs and some of the puzzle technology.
Correlation does not necessarily imply causation, though.
True. But just because we don't understand the connection, that doesn't mean it's not there. What we have here is two things that reflect each other. We just don't understand how that reflection works or what causes it.
Maybe Miranda can tell us.
What's up with the spiky dildos? The end. After a lifetime dedicated to the written word, I'm faced with a task I could never have expected. Writing an epitaph not only for myself, but for my species. In the unlikely event that Alexander Drennan is successful and one day someone reads this, what meaningful insights can I share into this strange phenomenon that is humanity? I've spent days thinking about it, but now I'm running out of time. So I'll set down the one thought that I simply can't shake. It didn't have to be this way. With more time, we could have found a cure. With a few political victories, we could have been prepared. Change any factor, even by a little, and we'd have made it. This isn't divine punishment. It's dumb luck. I'm reaching for something here, but I don't know what it is. Forgiveness, grace, acceptance? No. I hate the idea of accepting this. Hope, maybe? I feel like the story is unfinished. Maybe it should be. No epitaphs for humanity. I pray Drennan is right. It didn't have to be this way, and yet it was. Failed to load comment. No more appropriate finish there. Karen, from 51 Tales by Lord Dunsany. Karen leaned forward and rode. All things were one with his wariness. It was not with him a matter of years or of centuries, but of wide floods of time, and an old heaviness and a pain in the arms that had become for him part of the scheme that the gods had made and was of a piece with eternity. If the gods had even sent him a contrary wind, it would have divided all time in his memory into two equal slabs. So gray were all things where he was that if any radiance lingered a moment among the dead, on the face of such a queen perhaps as Cleopatra, his eyes could not have perceived it. It was strange that the dead nowadays were coming in such numbers. They were coming in thousands where they used to come in 50s. It was neither Charon's duty nor his wont to ponder in his grey soul why these things might be. Charon leaned forward and rode. Then no one came for a while. It was not usual for the gods to send no one down from earth and for such a space. But the gods knew best. Then one man came alone, and the little shade sat shivering on a lonely branch. The great boat pushed off. Only one passenger. The gods knew best, and great and weary Charon rode on and on beside the little, silent, shivering ghost. And the sound of the river was like a mighty sigh that grief in the beginning had sighed among her sisters, and that could not die like the echoes of human sorrow failing on earthly hills, but was as old as time, and the pain in Charon's arms. Then the boat from the slow grey river loomed up the coast of this, and the little silent shade still shivering stepped ashore, and Charon turned the boat to go wearily back to the world. Little shadow spoke that had been a man. "I am the last," he said. No one had ever made Charon smile before. No one before had ever made him weep. There's an obvious and perhaps intended interpretation that this is the end of humanity and that the last shadow is the last human to live. But another interpretation is equally possible, that humanity has achieved immortality, and the last shadow is the last human to die. I prefer the latter. Version 8 unsuccessful, same problem as with Trial 108. Repeated all calculations, same result. Weird. Experiment modified to gain further insights into unexpected error. Inconsistent results. Simultaneous trials affecting each other via unknown mechanism. What's going on here? I don't know. Why are we doing this in front of butt plugs? Really? In front of my butt plugs? Okay, I shouldn't say no. I can be reasonably sure that there is a terminal that I'm not seeing. Or maybe hasn't shown. I don't know. If it's there, I'm blind. If it's not there, I don't know. Okay, so we have it pushing from 7. Because that was the last spot we could really see. Which one is this? This one is this. And it needs a green. But it needs to be over here. And this one didn't have Fuck. Okay. Okay. When we set that to green instead? We'll be good. I do think it was like 3 or 4 that had green. And again, with the red, I'll actually be able to see it, so. Yeah, I can actually literally see the green. And, so now let's go back to 7. And the great thing is, even if we had fast travel that worked, etc., I don't know that I would use it. Ah, we got a huge man.
Just when I thought we'd found all the weird stuff.
It worked. I made a statue. Well, it half worked. The design wasn't balanced, so it fell over and broke. It was very dramatic. But the good news is that it all works in principle. Imagine what we could do using stone, part of the environment. Miranda. So 456 E657 is Miranda.
So, humanity is great. I really believe that. And that's why I'm here. But I have to be honest with you, individual people, not always my favorite. I'm not the smartest guy ever, and I know that. But there are some people, man, some people are just so dumb. I don't even know if they're actually conscious. Sometimes I think their whole lives might be like a dream. They're just stumbling around, no idea what's going on, mumbling some random nonsense. And the thing that you have to understand about our time period is that a lot of these people wield enormous power. They run whole countries and corporations. Yeah, that's right. We've handed over our civilization to people I wouldn't trust to tie their own shoelaces. And if they're dumb, then what are we? I don't honestly have an answer to that, so just please try to do better.
False idols are worshipped not because they are idols, but because they are false. True idols are rejected because the truth is feared.
Oh yeah, we had the picture for that. Oh, motherfucker. I had forgotten what it was, and so I think it was this way. There's all sorts of reasons to think I'm wrong. But in this instance, I'm not. Okay. So it is that, right? No, I think it's saying this. Where the little overhang is. Not 100% clear. I mean, this feels like it should be because, of course, what the hell is that little rock that stands up? Ultimately, I think it's the lack of color here that is hurting me more than anything. Wait, is it actually just telling me here? No, because that wasn't actually... This might also be something where I'm getting fucked by having changed the FOV. So... Where was that? I think it was 75 to... Oh, we can actually... Cancel changes. Yeah, it was... It was 75. Man, we feel so slow. But that doesn't seem to meaningfully change that. So yeah, it's directly underneath the trees is what it seems to be showing. Above something. Like, our options are here or here, and neither one seems good. Could also be in there, but could just be a matter of I'm not seeing something obvious. I mean, I'm sort of curious what's at the end of this little passage. Oh, I think this is probably going to be where the gate was. No, because we saw the gate. Could be that this is a roundabout path that we didn't take. Oh, this is a part of the path we did see. But we didn't see
Whether
this.
it is true that Daedalus constructed the giant Talos, or as others say he was the creation of Hephaestus, what we may be certain of is that he was made of bronze and had but one vein, within which flowed a liquid substance like blood, which some claim was quicksilver, and others assert was ichor, such as flows in the veins of the gods. The loss of that liquid caused him to die, as a man dies when he loses his blood. May we not then say that Talos, though created as a machine or a toy, had all the essential properties of a man? He moved of his own volition, he spoke and could be spoken to, had wishes and desires. Indeed, in the tale of the Argonauts, that was the cause of his downfall. If then a machine may have all the properties of a man, and act as a man while driven only by the ingenious plan of its construction and the interaction of its materials according to the principles of nature, then does it not follow that man may also be seen as a machine? This contradicts all the schools of metaphysics. Yet even the most faithful philosopher cannot live without his blood.
When we go to New Jerusalem, I'm going to have a cat. He's going to be black and white, and his name is going to be Bean. And I'm going to make sure that he never gets sick, and he never gets old, and he'll be my best friend forever.
I like that Miranda seems to vacillate between being this very intelligent being and a teenager. I don't know, much like a lot of teenagers, really. Okay, so I mean, that's the tree at the very front, and it feels like this doesn't quite correspond to any I don't know. I'm not super happy with this one regardless. let's just go to the structure. Or rather, go here. And, well, no, let's... Since I think it'll... Let's go back to the thing, see if we can figure it out. So, a tree at the front. Okay, so I think that means it's referring to this tree. Not... No, because it's quite a different looking tree. Is it referring then... Is it showing this as a tree? I don't know. And that's the thing, is it would need to be one of these trees. Wouldn't it? Because I mean, this looks like it's the water. But also there's something... Yeah, it looks like that's showing the mountain range back there, but it might not be. No matter how I change that, it still just looks like it's roughly in this area. And that annoys me greatly because, of course, we've looked through this area and there doesn't seem to be anything. Well, I think that, then, is going to be it for this time. we will come back and finish that off and do the next ones Monday. Which I know will be a big break, but it is what it is. See you then. Hope you have a good rest of your day.